Welcome to the Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. This is October 13th, 2019. We do this every Sunday night from 6 to 8 p.m. live. You are no doubt watching this either on YouTube or Facebook or maybe from our website, thebibleforum.net. We learned this week from an organization doing research in Harish, northern Israel. They've uncovered a massive 5,000-year-old metropolis that housed some 6,000 residents. It's been uncovered alongside Israel's newest city, the city of Harish, when they were building roads. The 160-acre site is the largest early Bronze Age settlement excavated in Israel. That according to Israel Antiquities Authority. It's much larger than any known site in the land of Israel and outside the land of Israel in the region of Jordan, Lebanon, or northern Syria. Now the excavation directors have been digging around near two water springs in the Haifa district of northern Israel. The digs have revealed an early Bronze Age, that's the end of the 4th millennium BC, city, located near Wadi Ara, Wadi having to do with water, near two water springs in the Haifa district of northern Israel. According to one of these archaeologists, the land is fertile for agriculture and is close to important central trade routes. The ancient settlement contained public and private buildings along with streets and alleys and was surrounded by a fortification wall. One of the other folks explained that, quote, the excavation at this site revealed two main elements. The earliest one is about 7,000 years old. That would place it just after the flood in Noah's day. It's a very large agricultural settlement. 2,000 years later, another settlement became one of the first cities known in this area of the world. The team says, quote, this is a huge city, a megalopolis. In reality, land belonging to the early Bronze Age where thousands of inhabitants who made their living from agriculture lived and traded with different regions and even with different cultures and kingdoms in the area. This is the early Bronze Age New York of our region, they said. A cosmopolitan and planned city. Now, for what it's worth, for at least 200 years, individuals and groups have been excavating throughout Egypt, Israel, Syria, which is technically Israel. Did you know that? Check the Bible for the boundaries that God gave Moses. They have searched everything from where the spies went into the land in the south to Syria and Iraq. And all of this is the land that God gave to Israel. Oh yeah, how do you? I got a Bible verse. Genesis 15, verse 16. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Now the river of Egypt is often considered the Nile rivers down there near Egypt, but there is a smaller river atop the area we know as the Sinai Desert that is called the River of Egypt. It's located south of Goshen. It runs just south of the official border in a place called now Wadi El Arish. It formed the border between Egypt and the land God gave to Israel. And the archaeologists have not been disappointed any time they follow the Bible's description as to where something might be. One of those somethings is the ancient city of Edom. I consider this under the heading of poetic justice, because archaeologists are now reporting on a recent discovery that indicates the biblical kingdom of Edom, often presumed by secular historians to simply be a myth, they have found what they believe is Edom. Edom is mentioned 87 times in the Old Testament. Edom was born from the descendants of Esau, Jacob's twin brother. The name came from Esau's dependence upon his brother Jacob for food. Genesis 25:30. Coming in from the field, Esau was so hungry he was faint. He asked his younger brother Jacob to feed me, I pray. The word literally means red, for Esau was a ruddy color. This was from his birth. Verse 25, it says he came out all red all over, like a hairy garment. They called his name Esau, which literally in those days meant rough. Later the word Edom is used to describe the area in which Esau's descendants lived. Genesis 32, verse 3. An area around Mount Seir in Jordan, south of Israel, east of the mountains that run north and south, just below the Dead Sea. In Genesis 36, verse 8, it says, thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Recently, researchers from the University of California and Tel Aviv University discovered 6,000-year-old copper mine called Slaves Hill. The word duke is used to describe the various chiefdoms of Edom. Duke means friend or chieftain, and the Bible mentions these dukes during the wilderness wandering of Israel under Moses in Numbers chapter 20. Faced with the entire nation of Israel marching through their land, these dukes told the children of Israel if they came into their territory, there would be war. We're talking a couple of million people, children of Israel. Later, King Saul, in chasing David, encountered the Edomites, 1 Samuel 14. He eventually overcame them and placed a garrison in Edom, 2 Samuel chapter 8. But the people of Edom became David's servants, and the Lord preserved David whithersoever he went. 2 Samuel 8:14. Now several prophecies concerning Edom are not good, prophecies of judgment. Those in Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Malachi. But apparently in the end days, Edom will be spared the wrath of the Antichrist. Did you know that? Daniel 11:41. Edom, Moab, and the chief of the children of Ammon. Now Edom is the land north of the Dead Sea and east of the Jordan River, in what we now know today as Jordan. Edom was the home of Ruth, the Moabitess, who married Boaz of Israel and became one of the women, one of the mothers in the lineage of Christ. You see, Ruth begat Obed, who begat Jesse, father of King David. Matthew chapter 1. God is steadily working out his plan, his purpose in the lives of men. The mockers continue to spread their opinions, their hopes, but the word of God has yet to be proven wrong. Where it appears wrong, it's simply that history has demonstrated that history hasn't demonstrated. Where it appears to be wrong is because nobody has discovered it yet. But history has demonstrated that the mockers have all been wrong, as one discovery after another proves the Bible to be correct and the mockers wrong. Time is on God's side here. What this city turns out to be in Israel that they just discovered is going to be fascinating. But no doubt they'll find other stuff. And everything they find proves the Bible's right. And it was there first.